Alright, welcome back to Conception 6-6 Fishing. Let me see if I can get my equipment set up. So this video is about alternative bed fishing situations. On TV a lot of time you'll see the pros, they'll see a fish and they'll flip in their little Texas rigs and they'll just whack them. It's not always that way. So this is a series of fish catches where I show you an alternative that I used. Okay, when I was moving around in the shallows trying to sight fish these fish, they were incredibly spooky, which probably meant I was real early in the bedding process. The male wasn't locked on, the female sure wasn't locked on, and the fish, they're not locked on when they scatter immediately and they don't come back quickly. And by quickly, I mean a minute or less. If they don't come back within 30 seconds, I'm really moving on, okay? Unless it's a giant fish. But under a minute, 30 seconds, you have a higher probability of catching that fish the faster the fish comes back to the bed. So earlier in the day of this fishing day, I had spooked a lot of fish and I had marked a lot of fish on my Lowrance. I had waypointed them. You can just kind of remember them in your head. And I had come back to them, okay, and kept my boat at a distance and casted a bait past their bed, and was bringing it back over their beds either by jerking or dragging, and I was getting quite a bit of bites that way. Okay. Another concept that I want to go over here is when you're sight fishing for fish that you can't see, you have to take note of the pattern of what they're actually spawning on. On this particular lake, they were spawning in two specific areas. They were spawning on hard bottom, near docks, near vertical post. Okay, that was one. The second was on the inside weed edges with rock that actually protruded from say 2 feet down into the weed edge into about 4 feet. So imagine a clean inside weed edge, and then you have a little dip that's a dip of rock. Okay, they wanted that little bit of deep water access. Okay, so when you're blind casting or casting from a distance for bedding fish, you just take into account, okay, look, that looks like a place that I've seen them spawning around the other portions of the lake, and you'll make pitches to them or long casts to them, and you'll cover water that way, and you'll get a lot of those bites that you wouldn't get if you were trying to sight fish them. Okay. Another concept that I want to go over is when the fish are really spooky, and you'll see one of these fish actually in the fish catching videos that actually I did catch off a bed, but you'll notice that my boat is up almost on the shore. You don't want to take away the deep water access. Okay, if you give them the deep water access, they are faster to return to their bed. They feel safer for whatever reason that is, and I was actually able to get one and leave my bait in that zone for long enough to irritate this fish and get a bite. So, general concept of this video: if the fish are spooky when they're bedding, there is alternative ways to do it in terms of waypointing or remembering where you saw specific bedding fish, coming back to them and casting from a distance, or taking a note of the general pattern of the cover that they're using and going around the lake and looking for it and blind casting to those, blind pitching to those, whether it be docks with posts, pads off of docks, or whether it be inside weed edges with rock outcroppings that come into deeper water. Okay. And another concept is give them the deep water access. It helps them return to the bed and feel safer faster. So enjoy the fish catch videos. and hit like, subscribe, share the video if you'd like. And coming up here soon, the ice is going to be off the water, and we're going to have some real fresh fish catching videos for you folks. Thanks again. Have a good day.